Wildcats right now taking advantage of any error that Grambling State's going to throw at them. Trying to get themselves in scoring position right now with 2 outs. Mikey Rodriguez only 90 feet away.
Well, now they've taken the shift off, and the hole is to the third base side with the shortstop playing in the hole. And Fernandez puts a big old swing and miss. That's another fastball low and away. And it's 3-2. First time the Wildcats have had a runner in scoring position since the first. Payoff to Fernandez. And he got a piece of it just with the bottom of the bat. And we'll see another one. I would not be surprised if it's another low fastball towards the outside part of the plate from Esparza, as Jose Fernandez has missed those twice in this AB. Big pitch here, the 3-2. Ground ball towards third. Ash in perfect position. The throw across pulls Lopez off the bag, but he's in position to make the tag, and that'll be the end of the inning. No runs, no hits, and Rodriguez stranded on third. We go to the fourth. Wildcats still down 4-1 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Charles Ash, the third, who made the last out of the bottom of the third to strand Michael Rodriguez 90 feet away, will lead off the fourth for Grambling State. They lead the Wildcats 4-1. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Nothing in the third as Harvey Abreu got back on a little bit of a track, but he is still laboring. 53 pitches through 3. And even clean through this inning, you might feel like this is his last inning with J.C. Zambrano warming up down in left field now for the second straight inning. First pitch missed low. Here's the 1-0. Off-speed pitch, tap foul right at home plate, 1-1. Charles Ash, the freshman from Brookhaven, Georgia, out of St. Paul Catholic High School. Been a big boon to this team with his .304 average. Brought the power as well with 9 home runs. Abreu misses low. That ball skirts to the backstop, 2-1. If the season ended today before this game, these two teams would be on the same side of the bracket. Fastball swing and a miss, strike upstairs. 2-2, but the Wildcats being the 1 seed and the Tigers being the 5. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Ash way out of ahead of it. And the fourth strikeout for Harvey Abreu with that 12-6 curve.
Number 28, Chris Marcellus.
One down in the inning. Here's Chris Marcellus, part of a duo with Ryan Davis at the bottom of the order that hit back-to-back home runs in the second inning to double the Grambling State lead. First pitch, slider, strike one. Marcellus, one of 7 holdovers from the 2024 SWAC championship team, where Grambling State upset Florida A&M in the semifinals, and then on a walk-off wild pitch beats Jackson State in the final. 1-1 floated inside, 2-1. Wildcats have dominated this matchup, although they've only met 8 times, including last night. This is only the second series all time since the Wildcats joined the SWAC. Played 2 games last year in Louisiana. The third game got rained out. 2-2. No take on this curveball, 3-2. The only win that Grambling State has over Bethune-Cookman all time was back in 2011, a neutral site game in California. 3-2. In the air, left field, Lee charging, and we'll make the catch on the move for out number 2. That time Abreu elevated the curve a little bit. Got the fly out.
This is the Harvey Abreu that we know. Strikeouts, flyouts, just getting the hitters to make contact or miss, but then allowing defense behind him to do the job.
9-hole hitter Ryan Davis hit his 3rd home run of the year, first time up. He'll square to bunt, watch a bunt breaking ball go low. In 4 of the 8 games the Wildcats have played against Grambling State all time, they've scored double-digit runs. Foul straight back, 1-1. 19, 14 twice, and 23 last night. But the offense has abandoned them so far tonight as they're down 4-1. Still a long way to go here in the top of the 4th. Davis gets a hold of one out towards left. Lee at the track makes a basket catch. Great jump from Lee as that one was jolted off of Davis's bat down the line. And that's the end of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers.
He read it right off the bat, and another clean inning for Harvey Abreu as they look to bounce back here in the bottom half.
Wildcats looking for some offense as we go to the bottom of the 4th, down by 3 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Eric Almonte leads off. popped up to shallow left his first time up as we go to the fourth. Wildcats down 4-1. As Trevor Esparza has allowed 4 hits, walked 1, no strikeouts, been very efficient at getting weak contact, a lot of fly balls. In fact, there's only been 1 ground ball out for the Wildcats so far. That was the RBI for Michael Lucena back in the first. First pitch outside to Almonte, 1-0. Right down the middle, 1-1. Esparza, 48 pitches through 3, now up to 50 with those 2. And on pace for a 70 to 80, maybe even more pitch appearance. And Almonte pops it up again. Another fly ball out for the Wildcats. All but 1 out in the game has been a fly ball or a pop-up.
And they're just missing the ball, whether, like you said earlier, they're late or early. They're just missing that pure contact, just allowing it to come to them or making that last-minute decision to swing there.
Jeter Poyeto flew out to center his first time up back in the second. First pitch, fastball, strike, belt high. This is a matchup of 2 of the better offensive teams in the country, both top 50 in Division I baseball in runs, in terms of runs per game. The Wildcats 21st with 8.46. The 0-1. Oh, hit him. Right on the shoulder. And that was an all-2 from. And those are scary this late in the season. You want to avoid injuries at any cost, especially with how thin the middle infield is in terms of injuries.
The designated hitter, number 7, Christopher Watson.
Here's Chris Watson. Grambling State, 44th in the country, 7.8 runs per game. But a team ERA of 8.44 sees them down 291st in the country. And all of their pitching and defense stats pretty far down, both in the SWAC and in Division I baseball. But the Wildcats have not been able to take advantage of that yet tonight. First pitch up and into Watson, 1-0. And we're gonna have our first trip to the mound. This is Perez Knowles, the pitching coach. I don't think we're ever in danger quite yet of seeing a call to the bullpen, although Grambling State has mobilized their bullpen down their first base line.
You don't want anything to get out of hand if you're Grambling State right now. You have a little bit of a lead here going into this 4th inning, 3-run lead, a little bit of a cushion, but with the hit by pitch and then that first ball to Chris, you just want to make sure your pitcher is okay, just checking in, giving him a little bit of confidence. Nothing needs to change from how he's been doing in the first 3 innings of this game. It's been pretty clean. Just making sure that he continues what he's doing, and then they'll look to get a change soon.
2024 SWAC champion Rafael Capistran is throwing in the Grambling State bullpen. Watson stands back in a 1-0 count. If you haven't been out to the Jack to catch Bethune-Cookman baseball yet this season, we got one more chance. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m., Senior Day, as the Wildcats will close the season against Grambling State. Download 2-0. Admission is free, or we'll be right back here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV to close out the regular season. Then it's off to Birmingham.
18 seniors tomorrow.
Yep.
Crazy.
Long hold and a throwback to first. It's crazy because I think we only graduated 3 or 4 last year and have 18 this year. And I think 90% of those are returners from last year who tried to run it back this year. And this next week is so important for the trajectory of this program. The 2-0 is a strike to the knees, 2-1. And it was really championship or bust for Coach Hernandez when he brought back most of the squad that did it last year, added depth in the pitching, added depth in the outfield. 2-1 to Watson. They'll watch that one in there for a strike, 2-2. And you, with the 22-6 record, I mean, you've seen it.
Right. They've done everything that they can to put themselves in the best position for this week. It's just these little tune-ups in these last few games to really get them going, because they'll leave Sunday after their game tomorrow.
That's going to be close over at first, and out is Poyeto. He puts his hands on his head. A pickoff at first, and there's 2 outs. And that just cannons your productivity in the inning.
Well, it definitely puts a damper on things, because those are the small details that they work on all of the time. And in situations like today where they're down here going into this inning and they need to start finding momentum, that's one that snuffs momentum out. And
now one pitch could get the Tigers out of the inning. That's not going to be the one. It's a curveball in the dirt. 3-2 now on Watson. Last time Watson was in a 3-2 count, he hammered a breaking ball to left field for a base hit. Really, I think the best piece of hitting the Wildcats have had today. He'll watch it downstairs for ball 4, and he'll replace Poyeto over at first. The only problem is now there's 2 outs, and here's Sergio Rivera.
Now batting the center fielder.
You see the cracks starting to show from Esparza. A walk in the 3rd, now a hit by pitch and a walk back-to-back in the 4th, but the pickoff gets them out of the jam, and now the Wildcats will have to do a 2-out rally if they want anything out of this inning. For the 2nd year in a row, the Wildcats come into the last series of the year without having wrapped up the #1 seed in the regular season title. First pitch fastball strike. Last year they had to take 2 out of 3 against Texas Southern. They waited till the final day after TSU took game 2.
Have to make it a nail biter.
This year it's the exact same thing, with Southern chomping at their heels. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. 0-2 now on Sergio Rivera. This will be pitch number 63 coming for Esparza. And will he depart with a chance to take a win here? Rivera, high and deep, but a long way foul to left field. And it's 0-2.
That ball was hanging, but it was just a little bit too inside for Serge to drive. You could see in the way that he swung the bat, he wanted to drill that ball.
Rivera does have 3 homers on the year, including one that he absolutely torched here against Jackson State at the beginning of conference play. Once again, the 0-2. Breaking ball didn't catch the bottom of the zone, 1-2. Wildcats' only run was back in the 1st. They have struggled since then with only 1 runner in scoring position against Trevor Esparza. Line drive, base hit center field. Watson is going to hang up. Oh, no, he's going to go to 3rd now as the ball was misplayed by Bridges. And for the 2nd straight inning, the Wildcats with 2 outs have a runner 90 feet away.
2 outs don't scare the Wildcats. They don't really pay attention to that number. It only really comes in play in terms of what can happen on the field. Sergio Rivera needed to have a hit there in that moment, and he absolutely delivered for the Wildcats. A fantastic job by Chris Watson just to see the play and read to try to get over to 3rd.
That'll be a single and an error on Bridges in center field. And now Darrell Lee, who is 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a fly out to center, has a chance to put the Wildcats on the board for the first time in the 1st. He's stranded 2 aboard back in the 2nd with a pop-up on the infield. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Corner infielders playing in. And Martin, the 2nd baseman, with 2 feet firmly planted in the outfield grass. 1-0. Just misses low with the breaking ball, 2-0. The sun right in the eyes of first base, second base, and right field, and the pitcher.
And us.
And us, as it drops below the western horizon, the 2-0. Lee in the air, right center field. Tracking back is Bridges. He will reach up and make the catch on the track as Darrell Lee has now stranded 4 runners and is now 0 for 3 after a 4 for 6 night last night. Big smile for Esparza as he comes off the mound. That's probably his day done, but he has Grambling State in an excellent position as they're up 4-1 going to the 5th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Top of the order for Grambling State as we go to the 5th. Halfway home here in Daytona Beach, 4-1, Grambling State over Bethune-Cookman. Harvey Abreu throws pitch number 68. It is still on the hill. He has sat down the last 6 Tigers he's faced after a rough first 2 innings.
He's definitely rounded into form here later on in this game. It's taken him a little bit longer to get into it.
1-0. Upstairs 2-0. JC Zambrano had sat down from warming up out there in left field for the Wildcats. Abreu finds the zone, 2-1 there. Abreu, a junior from Aruba, one of 3 Arubans on this Wildcat team.
We did fit pics today. The boys got to, you know, put on a little fit, and we took pictures of them when they walked in, and all of our Arubian Knights walked in together. It was very cute.
They all room together, right?
They do. They all do live together. It's slice of home when they are at their house.
Brian Rinconis, Justin Morales, and Harvey Abreu. And he loses Marcellus Thomas for the walk. Second walk of the game for Abreu. Crowd here not happy with that 3rd ball call. Thought it should have been strike 3. But just like the 3rd inning, leadoff man aboard with a walk, and here's Trey Bridges, who's 1 for 2. Doubled and scored in the 1st, and then a ridiculous catch in right by Michael Rodriguez robbed him of extra bases in the 2nd. Throw back to first. Thomas barely has taken a lead. Only 5 steals on the year for Thomas. Rare for a leadoff man, although he did not lead off last night. He batted in the 8th spot and scored the only run for Grambling State. Abreu started his collegiate career at Tallahassee Community College the last 2 seasons. Started the year here at BCU as the Friday night guy. First pitch, all outside. Abreu looks a little confused about where that missed. He's behind Bridges 1-0. In the dirt, ball bounced up in front of Lucena. Thomas will stay at first, but it's 2-0. And Zambrano has stood back up and is starting to throw again. Would not be surprised if Trey Bridges gets on base here. That'll be the end for Abreu. Squared to bunt, pulled it back, strike called, 2-1. On center fielder Trey Bridges. Where's number 42? Bridges now ahead 3-1, but Bridges wearing number 42, very relevant here in this ballpark.
You don't say.
Yeah. Senior from Jackson, Mississippi. Takes ball 4. 2 walks, 2 aboard with nobody out, and no movement from the dugout yet.
Now
Michael Lucena is going to go out there.
18, Aiden Lopez.
And Grambling State has a chance to increase their 4-1 lead. This is their best chance since the first inning, where they got the first 2 aboard, single-double, and they both came in. And now here comes Coach Hernandez, and Abreu knows that's pretty much the end for him. Tough start for Harvey Abreu. I think he will probably self-admit his worst start since moving to the Saturday spot 3 weeks ago. There was one point where he lost 3 straight Friday night games against Jackson State Southern and Mississippi Valley. But was perfect since moving to the Saturday night spot. And he'll just hope for a no decision here as he leaves trailing 4-1 in the 5th with 2 runners that are his responsibility as well. And here comes J.C. Zambrano. Zambrano, the senior from Caracas, Venezuela, has yet to recapture the heights of his 3-inning stint for a save at LSU, in which he gave up no run on 1 hit with 3 strikeouts in a bases loaded situation after he came into the game. Last time out against Alabama State was very good, though, in the 7-3 Wildcat win. Went 4 innings, gave up no runs on 1 hit, struck out 4, walked 1. And he will be the man to try and shut this Grambling State offense down. And with the inability the Wildcats have had to put the ball in play this evening, you feel that any more here for Grambling State might just spell the end of this contest.
Well, I wouldn't want to, you know, the Wildcats have battled back in games before, but the rate at which Grambling State is able to just stack runs, and you saw the back-to-back home runs and then how the first inning went as well. They have the hot bat today, and the question is going to be if the Wildcats can continue to get out of innings, can they come back to the plate and make a statement and battle back and show their bats and show what they're capable of, show what 23 runs put up last night was about? Because we haven't seen that from them at all today.
Oh, no. I just saw J.C. Zambrano sail one to the backstop in one of his warm-up pitches, but a lot on the line for the Wildcats today. Of course, a win would win them the regular season title outright. But more than that, they're chasing history. They've already broken the record for the best regular season in program history, topping 35 wins that the 2002 team had, already 36. But of course, the chase is on for 40 wins, which would be an all-time program record.
Johnny Hernandez has been vocal about that all season, wanting to get to the 40 mark. Was hoping to do it in regular season play, but it's going to be in the playoffs, the tournament, for that to happen, which is attainable for them. This team is willing and capable to do that. They have the talent, and they've shown consistency over the season of them with the ability to hit with power, stack runs, come back in games, dig themselves out of holes.
But oftentimes it's been the high-scoring games that have been their crux, especially down the stretch. And their last 3 Sundays have been a testament to that. A 10-6 loss against Arkansas Pine Bluff, a 15-13 loss against Florida A&M, and a 14-11 loss against Alabama State. They had the lead in all 3 of those games. They had pretty big leads in all 3 of those games. And gave it up, although today playing from behind, and they've played from behind since the word go. And now J.C. Zambrano on the mound. Aiden Lopez will come up 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout back in the first. Official final line on Harvey Abreu. 4 innings pitched, 78 pitches. He gave up 6 runs on 4 hits, 4 earned, striking out 4 and walking 3, although he is still responsible for Thomas and Bridges both on base via the walk to start this top of the 5th. First pitch from Zambrano, strike at the knees to Aiden Lopez. Aiden Lopez, the junior out of Eagle Pass, Texas, a transfer from Wharton College. Runners go on the hit and run. Lopez fouled down into the bullpen. And Rafael Capistran has sat down over there for Grambling State. I don't know if that means if he's ready or they're going to bring Trevor Esparza back into the game for the next half inning. Zambrano wants a new baseball. He's ahead 0-2 on Lopez. Long hold for JC. Lucena sets up outside, and the pitch is spiked. And it's 1-2.
Another reason why Lucena is one of the top catchers here in the SWAC and maybe in mid-major baseball is his ability to block the ball. Not a lot gets past him. He pounces on it. He gets his chest over it, gets his body in front of it, whatever body part he needs to keep the ball in front and not allow extra bases for the runners.
1-2. Ground ball towards second. The turn to second for 1. On to first. The scoop. Safe. Aiden Lopez beat out the throw, so it's a fielder's choice. Martavius Thomas goes to third. Trey Bridges out at second. And Aiden Lopez is on at first. So runners on the corners. 1 out now for Grambling State. That was a big opportunity for the Wildcats there and just couldn't turn it. One out runners at the corners now for Cameron Hill. RBI single back in the first, then was caught stealing, then popped out on the infield into the third. Wildcats are first in the SWAC in terms of double plays turned this year with 36. Behind them is Texas Southern at 25. Swing and a miss by Cameron Hill, and it's 1-1. Southern has jumped out on top of Alabama A&M 4-0 in the first. The Wildcats aren't going to get any help from Baton Rouge. Ground ball to third. A good chance for another double play. The 5, the 4, the 3. Well, they missed out the first time. They weren't going to be denied that time as the Wildcats got out of a jam. Round of applause for J.C. Zambrano as he comes in and denies Grambling State.
And could that be the turning point for the Wildcats right now to get a little bit more activated at the plate, confidence? You put another 0 in the top half of this inning with runners looking like they were going to score and have the opportunity to, but you get yourself out of it. How do they change the momentum at the plate?
We'll see what happens in the bottom of the 5th on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Andre Martinez leads off the bottom of the 5th for the Wildcats. They trail Grambling State 4-1, have stranded 6 on base, including 4 of those 6 in scoring position. Trevor Esparza throwing a great game so far as he gets Andre Martinez to pop this up to left field. Another 1-pitch, 1-out situation as Hill makes the catch, and the Wildcats have only grounded out once. Everything else has been in the air.
And it makes it easy for the Grambling State defense to corral those balls. A little bit of wind, but not enough to really deter them. And then the flyouts are just honestly a little bit weak from the Wildcats.
Michael Rodriguez, the only Wildcat of the top 5 of the order, has been on base twice, a single and a walk. Been stranded on second once and on third once. That was pitch number 70 for Trevor Esparza. Has gone as deep as 119 pitches this season. That was 2 weeks ago in this 6 1/3 against Florida A&M, where he gave up 3 runs on 2 hits and had 8 strikeouts. Rodriguez punches it foul, third base side, 1-2. Wildcat bats have just not had that sense of urgency tonight. Have not made good contact really at all. Of course, anything can change around in the last third of the game. Rodriguez, high fly ball, shallow right. Thomas moves in 3 steps, 2 outs. And it feels like the Wildcats team is falling into a rut that they've done many times over the last couple of years. They get down and they just cannot swing their way out of it. Another fly ball. Twelve of their 13 outs have been pop-ups or fly balls. First pitch, bell tie strike to Michael Lucena. Rafael Capistran, who was up and throwing as Esparza labored a little bit with a hit by pitch, a walk and a single in the 4th, has sat down, and he's on potentially for a 6-pitch inning here if he can get this 3rd strike. He does not. Third baseman Charles Ash put his hands in the air and started running back towards the dugout.
He's been doing that a few times during this game, and both times I've seen him do it, it has not been called a strike.
Lucena ground ball, foul just outside of 3rd. Charles Ash is a character. I've loved watching him warming up. He's singing along with the songs on the PA system. He's dancing behind the plate while he's waiting to take his turn at batting practice. He's a high-energy guy.
I've seen that from a few of these Grambling State players that you love.
Ground ball towards short, over the diving glove of Davis. And for the 3rd inning in a row, the Wildcats have a 2-out base runner. Sorry, 3rd inning of the last 4. They have a 2-out base runner.
What I was going to say before Lucena had that hit was you love to see them playing free, loving the game. In situations like they are in right now, end of the season, you have the tournament coming up, you could feel a lot of pressure within these teams and the players. And for Grambling State, all I've seen is playing free, carefree, loving on one another, dancing, yes, but a lot of smiles from them as well.
Here's Jose Fernandez, 0 for 2 with 2 inning-ending fly-out or pop-outs. He fouls it away. Flied out to center to strand Michael Rodriguez on second of the 1st, and popped out in the infield to strand Michael Rodriguez at 3rd in the 3rd. And he's up again with runner on and 2 outs. As Capistran's going to stand back up over there for Grambling State. Throw back to first. Lucena doesn't stray too far away from the bag. Wildcats have already been picked off once. That was a 1-out pickoff of Jeter Puedo that stunted the momentum the Wildcats had in the 4th. Ground ball, right to third. Charles Ash makes the play, and the Wildcats strand another one. They've stranded 7 on base in the game. We go to the 6th. Wildcats still down 4-1 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV.
Number 2, Hassani Johnson.
Designated hitter Hassani Johnson leads off as we go to the 6th. Still 4-1 Grambling State. All 5 runs scored in the first 2 innings, as neither offense has been able to get off the ground since. J.C. Zambrano misses low. Johnson had a RBI double back in the first and struck out in the third. This is the first time he's facing Zambrano, who fouls it away 1-1. If you look at potential seeding going into the tournament, the Wildcats do not want to fall to that 2 seed. One, you wouldn't get home field advantage or home advantage in the finals if you were to come up against the 1 seed on the other side. You'd also, I think, would be in a more difficult side of the bracket, because you'd have Florida A&M, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern as it currently stands now. A 1-1. Sliced foul, 1-2. If the season ended today, the Wildcats would have Alabama State, Grambling, and Jackson State on their side of the bracket.
But really, like, you're looking at this game right now. Yesterday, take it for what it was, but this game is a grind for the Wildcats as well, so you can argue that either side of the bracket is just as difficult as the other one.
Well, I was on record on the Hail Wildcats radio show this week. That episode drops tomorrow.
Plug.
Saying that if it's not Bethune-Cookman, I think any of the other 7 teams have a legit shot at winning it.
I think that's what makes these tournaments so fun, especially with the one like our baseball is with the SWAC.
Strike 3 for J.C. Zambrano. He punches out Hassani Johnson, 1 down in the inning.
He's just come in and lifted this team up, getting them out of the jam of the last inning, and then that first batter he's faced right now with the strikeout. Zambrano is coming in and dealing here. But what I was saying about the SWAC and this baseball tournament this year is that, like you just said, it could be any team truly on any given day that could take the championship and go have a run in the tournament.
There's so much parity in the league this year. If you look from 2nd place Southern to 8th place Jackson State, it's just 4 games separate 2nd to 8th. Fastball strike 1-1 on Shannon Martin. He's 0 for 2. A strikeout and a fly out to center. And before Jackson State's loss to UAPB, it was a 3-game gap from 2nd to 7th. Zambrano breaking ball just missed high. Here's the 2-1. And he hit him. Fastball got away from Zambrano, and Shannon Martin got hit between the shoulder blades. And he'll be on with 1 out. Zambrano's only hit now 3 batters this season in 16 1/3 innings. I realized I never went through Zambrano's full numbers. A 2.76 ERA, 1-0, 9 appearances, 2 saves. He's given up 7 runs on 14 hits, striking out 21 and walking 9. But now he's got to deal with Martin on first. 1 out, here's Charles Ash. For all his defensive prowess over at third today, he's 0 for 2. A strikeout and a fly out to left field. It was a hard hit ball, but Darrell Lee came in and made the catch. It was basically hit straight at him. First pitch, outside corner, strike 1 from Zambrano. Shannon Martin not really one of the steal threats on this scrambling squad, just 6 on the season. They'll check over there at first anyway. Three games in the books already today in the SWAC. Alabama State beat Alcorn State 6-2 in Lorman. The 0-1 on the outside corner with the breaking ball, 0-2. Jackson State evened the series with UAPB, winning 6-4. And Prairie View A&M now is up 2 over Mississippi Valley, 5-3 that final. Florida A&M dominating Texas Southern in the bottom of the 8th. They're up 10-2. Didn't get the call on the outside corner there, did Zambrano, 1-2. And the game that we are concerned about is in the bottom of the 2nd, Southern 4, Alabama A&M 1. Of course, if Alabama A&M comes back to win that game, the Wildcats would be regular season champions no matter what the outcome here tonight or the game tomorrow. Ash reached down and poked that one straight in the air. Poyeto runs under it behind the mound to make the catch, and there's 2 away. That was a tougher play than it looked on the surface because Poyeto had to be wise to it and get a good jump, almost like an outfielder tracking the ball off the bat.
I like the initiation from Poyeto just to take control of that situation and grab the ball. You saw Zambrano try to backtrack, and you need somebody that's coming in on the play to see the ball instead of one that's backing up.
Now 2 away, here is Chris Marsalis, a solo home run of the 2nd and a fly out to left. Go back to first. Oh, a better throw might have got Shannon Martin. Looked like he was ready to head towards 2nd. Although the one steal attempt that Grambling State has tried today was back in the 1st inning. Cameron Hill got mowed down by Michael Lucena. They haven't even tried to steal again. Signature arm hang from Zambrano. He'll come to the plate with it. Ground ball, that's a fair ball. Down the 3rd baseline and all the way to the corner. And Darrell Lee misplays the ball in the corner, and that's going to be a run for Grambling State. All the way in from first comes Shannon Martin, and it's 5-1. Chris Marsalis now has 2 RBIs. And the gap widens for the Tigers.
Well, Martinez didn't even try to go for the ball because I'm assuming he thought it was going to be foul. He just kind of let it go right by him. And then Darrell Lee, in left field, the wall juts out and then comes back in, and it hit just the wrong part of the wall and ricocheted between his legs and could not get it in to save that run. It was looking like it was going to be 1, 2, 3, potentially 3 easy inning for Zambrano again.
First run for the Tigers since the 2nd. And the mountain gets higher for the Wildcats. First pitch a strike to Ryan Davis. He's also homered and flied out to left. And there are some odd angles in this park, especially down the lines. Breaking ball into the outside corner, 2-0. Sun finally setting on what become a very pleasant evening here in Daytona Beach. It was hot at the start of the game.
Yeah, it's been beautiful all day.
The 1-1. Didn't get the call in the outside corner now. 1-2. Sorry, 2-1. It was hot this afternoon, though. I can attest to that. I went for a run.
How many miles?
Just 2, not long. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Fastball downstairs.
To brave this heat, I mean, doing 1 is sometimes a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Zambrano trying to get out of the inning. Wow, that's a line drive foul outside of third. And you mentioned that Martinez didn't try to get to that double by Marcellus. I don't think he had a chance, even if he dove for it. That was scorched down the line. And it's looking for all the world like this is going to come down to the final day of the season for the 2nd year in a row. Popped up into left field. Long run for Lee, but he'll secure it. And that's the end of the inning. A run on a hit and 1 left for the Tigers. And it's 5-1 Grambling State as we go to the bottom of the 6th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the bottom of the 6th and 80 pitches deep. Trevor Esparza continues to deal and get the Wildcats to fly out, make weak contact. Only 2 groundouts for the Wildcats today. Everything else has been a fly out or a pop out as they trail 5-1. Grambling State put another one up in the top of the inning. Eric Almonte first pitch swinging into the Grambling dugout. The Grambling Tigers look like they're going to be locked into the 5th spot, although Texas Southern could still jump them. And they're going to be very hard pressed to get over Alabama State. They're going to have to win tonight and tomorrow. High fly ball, right field. Thomas will track it into the glove, backpedaling towards the track, and there's one away. Another fly ball.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 2, Jeter Polito.
Here's Jeter Poyeto, 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and was picked off at first in the fourth. The Wildcats have only been held to 1 run this year one time. That was the 12-1 loss to Florida State back on March 17th. Foul ball off the bat of Poyeto, 1-1. They've been held to 2 a couple of times. The opening day against Bradley, that was a 2-1 win. 5-2 loss against Miami. Well, they've only been held to 2 twice. So this offensive dirge is not like those Wildcats team, averaging almost 9 runs per game. One. Poyeto behind the upstairs fastball, 1-2. Capistran has stood back up for Grambling State in the bullpen. You feel no matter what the result, this will be the last inning for Esparza, although he did go 116 pitches 2 weeks ago. Line drive, just foul. Down the third base line. Poyeto sat on that breaking ball, but he's still behind 1-2.
Regardless of whether Esparza, this is his last inning or he'll go one more, he's had quite the outing for Grambling State and definitely will get his flowers when he goes to the dugout.
Jeter Poyeto only had 1 hit last night. It was a 2 RBI ground rule double in the first inning. Other than that, grounded out twice, flew out, was hit by a pitch, and he pops it up. Shallow center. Going out is Martin. He will give it away to Thomas. 2 outs. 2 straight catches for Thomas. Fourth time in the game, the Wildcats' first 2 batters of the inning have both got out. Here's Chris Watson, one of only 3 Wildcats to get on base twice today, along with Michael Rodriguez and Sergio Rivera. He singled left in the second, which I still think is the best contact the Wildcats have made so far today, was that line drive to left, and then he walked in the fourth, was stranded on third. And this might be the end for Esparza as the coach is out there. Davin Pierre in his 5th full season as the head coach of Grambling State Baseball, but has spent almost 20 years in the organization as both an assistant and head coach. Has worked for a pro scout with the Marlins. And that'll be the end as Esparza gives up the ball, and here comes Capistran. Rafael Capistran from Brownsville, Texas, a redshirt junior. Transferred 3 years ago after his freshman year from Wharton Community College. Did not play last year. Sat the whole year with an injury. This year, a 6.16 ERA, 2-3, 22 appearances, 2 saves for Capistran. 38 innings pitched. He's allowed 37 runs on 35 hits. Striking out 45 and walking 32. He's allowed 5 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers with a batting average against of 246. He's hit 4 batters and thrown 3 wild pitches, Rafael Capistran. We saw the 2 best pitchers by ERA throw last night for the Tigers. Keon Guillory and Kevin Goss. Trevor Esparza now joins their number. Rafael Capistran with his 7.03 ERA sits 5th among Grambling State pitchers. And maybe it's just going to take a different arm for the Wildcats to wake up. Maybe it's just trying to see the ball different out of a different arm.
I was thinking that, and maybe, you know, they come in just a different energy into this new pitcher. They need some sort of change, and they haven't been able to make it themselves all game. And like you said, maybe this could be the spark for them.
Capistran, the righty. No out, oh, sorry, 2 outs, nobody on base. The final line for Esparza is a good one. 87 pitches, 5 2/3 inning, 1 run on 6 hits. Didn't strike out anybody, walked 2. But did the job. Got pop-ups and fly balls and let his outfield and defense work behind him. And really cruised through the majority of this game. Wildcats have stranded 7 on base, 4 in scoring position, but it never really felt like they were threatening because pretty much all the offense the Wildcats have had today has been with 2 outs.
And just the guy that you want coming up to the plate to see pitches and try to get some momentum going, especially with 2 outs, is Chris Watson.
Watson, 1 for 1, a single and a walk. And here we go, righty on righty. Third baseman Charles Ash creeps in, upstairs, ball 1 to Watson. Southern continues to lead Alabama A&M 4-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Down in Baton Rouge. Fastball strike inside corner. 1-1. Rafael Capistran has the most strikeouts on the staff of any of the relievers as he gets Watson to chase at that inside breaking ball. 1 and 2. He only sits behind Esparza and Keon Guillory in terms of total strikeouts on the year. Chris Watson's been down in the count every time he's been up. And he's worked to a full count both times. He fights off that breaking ball off speed. And he'll see another 1-2 pitch. While Rafael Capistran does have a ring back from 2024, he wasn't a major part of that team. Just 1 appearance on the season in 2024. And he popped him up. Jammed him with an inside fastball. It's Ash moving in. And that's the end of the inning. The Wildcats go 1-2-3. And we go to the 7th, 5-1 Grambling State here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the back third of this game we go. 7th inning on tap, 5-1 Grambling State. As the Wildcats have been limited offensively. J.C. Chicano still on the mound. He's pitched 2 innings, has given up 1 run with 1 strikeout so far. Back to the top of the order with Martavius Thomas. And he's down 1-2 after a big cut and miss. Thomas, 1 for 2, a single and a run scored back in the first, flew out to center in the second, then walked. Then was stranded on third in the 5th by Chicano, who came in and got Cameron Hill to ground into a double play. That one in the dirt, 2-2. Zambrano's 2-2. Off the end of the bat to shallow left. Lee's going to have to play it on a bounce. Leadoff single for Thomas. He's got 2 hits tonight.
What you don't want to see as this game gets later and later is the fight come out of the Wildcats. Now, in all honesty, we haven't really seen a ton of it in this game. Grambling State has pitched them very well. But as this game goes later and we're getting to the back 3 here, you cannot allow Grambling just to run away with the game. You still have to fight and power through, even if it's not looking in your favor.
The Wildcats have won every SWAC series they've played this year, 9 for 9. Something they didn't even do last year when they won the title. We're going to go a perfect 10 for 10 in series wins this weekend. Squaring to bunt is Trey Bridges, ball outside, 1-0. Bridges tonight a double in the first, came around to score. Flied out to right, a nice catch by Michael Rodriguez in the second, and walked and was caught in the middle of a double play in the 5th. Upstairs, 2-0. Zambrano now struggles with his command a little bit. I know this game doesn't decide the series, but to find the last time the Wildcats lost a final series of the season, you got to go back to 2022 when they lost 2 out of 3 to Jackson State. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Bridges. Bridges climbs back in, left-handed batter's box. Floodlights coming on and the dying light here at Jackie Robinson. Ground ball, that's a fair ball. And into right field. 2 straight singles for the Tigers, and they are cooking here in the 7th.
That ball hit hard, but through the gap of first and second. Shallow center for Mikey to come collect, and he'll keep the runners on first and second. But again, Grambling State right now stacking hits. Wildcats need to get out of this inning.
Another tough ask for this Wildcat defense. Grambling State, when they've had runners on, they've mostly got them in. They've only stranded 4 in the ballgame. A bunt. Zambrano off the mound. The throw to first off his back foot is a beauty. Aiden Lopez advances the runners to second and third, does his job with the sac bunt.
Clean by Zambrano. You never know how it can be scooping the ball and then trying to plant your foot to throw across your body, and he does it well to record the out at home. But like you mentioned, job done, moving the runners over.
Cameron Hill now up in the exact same position he was in the first inning with 1 out, runners on second and third. Here comes Coach Sanchez out to talk to Zambrano. In that first inning, Hill delivered a RBI single to left to open the scoring for the Tigers. That scored Martavius Thomas, who's currently on third. We really do have a mirror situation in that first inning. The same guys are on base. Thomas on third, Bridges on second. Other than that, Hill has popped up on the infield and grounded into an inning-ending double play. The entire infield meeting with Noel Sanchez on the mound right now. Andres Barroso is up and throwing for the Wildcats. He would be the next man up if Zambrano can't work out of the jam here. And looking to get a slow ground ball to the middle infield and turn two again here.
That's all they would need just to keep things in front of them.
Not really, because nobody's on first. So a double play would have to be some sort of rundown wackiness. Pretty much anything hit past the infield is going to score one, maybe two. The infield is all in to potentially cut off a run at home. First pitch, fastball strike outside corner to Cameron Hill. Cameron Hill leads this team in RBI by a wide margin, 51 on the year. Slow dribbler foul off the bottom of the bat. He's down 0-2. He's second in the SWAC in RBI behind Jeter Poyeto. Poyeto with 53. High pop on the infield. Three converge, and it's Almonte to put it away. Best case scenario there for the Cats.
Absolute best case scenario, almost perfect situation there for the Wildcats. Now with 2 outs, that really snuffs out any sort of momentum that Grambling State had to potentially score more than one.
Here comes Hassani Johnson. He had an RBI double down the first base line into the corner in the first, scoring Trey Bridges. Other than that, he struck out twice. Once against Zambrano and once against Abreu. And Zambrano deals. Breaking ball away, ball one. It's getting late here for the Wildcats. And if they want any chance to potentially make some noise in this game, they need to keep the Tigers off the board right here, trailing 5-1. That one in the zone at the knees, 1-1. But consistently throughout the season, there may not be a better Wildcat arm under pressure than John Zambrano. 1-1. High fly ball left field. Darrell Lee cracking toward the corner. Back on the track. Makes the catch. The Wildcats strand 2 more. Zambrano works out of another jam with the help of his defense. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Wildcats 9 outs away from falling to defeat here. Can the offense pick it up? We'll find out next here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. to the 7th. Wildcats down 5-1, 9-1-2 due up. Sergio Rivera leads off for the Cats.
Number 19, Sergio Rivera.
Rivera 2 for 2, a bunt single and a regular single today.
Just a regular one.
Just a regular one, nothing fancy on it. He'll lead off against the pitcher, Rafael Capistran, and he punches it into the right center field gap. That'll be caught by Thomas. 3 of the last 4 outs have been made by Thomas out there in right field. There's one away on 2 pitches. Capistran only used 5 pitches to get Chris Watson to pop out on the infield in his 1 batter faced in the 6th after he came on for Trevor Esparza. Back to the top of the order, here's Darrell Lee, first pitch outside. The Wildcats will need something early in innings. They've never had a base runner with nobody out, and most of their base runners have come with 2 outs tonight. They just haven't had the leeway to move them over. For the first 6 innings, they've gone out before getting anything to go. 1-0. Fastball strike at the knees, 1-1 on Lee. Lee 0 for 3. 2 flyouts to center and one a pop-up on the infield of the third baseman. He's stranded 4. Stranded Watson and Rivera in the 2nd, and Watson and Rivera again in the 4th. Lee watches that one bounce to the plate. He's ahead 3-1. The Wildcats have also only taken 2 walks today after taking 7 last night.
Well, I think that's something that's majorly different about this game than last night is the Wildcats are just swinging away and not allowing Grambling State to have to pitch to them in terms of making them throw a variety of pitches at these hitters.
Lee again swings away and falls over on a 3-1. And now it's 3-2. Capistran looking for the first Grambling State strikeout of the night. And he got it. Swing and a miss, breaking ball down and away. Lee goes down 2 outs.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 36.
Andre Martinez scored the only run for the Wildcats back in the 1st inning after a 1-out double, and he came around on the sacrifice by Michael Lucena. Infield moves back to standard depth after the shift was on for Lee. Martinez drives it to left field towards the scoreboard, and adios amigos. Home run number 14 on the year for Andre Martinez. He's now scored both of the Wildcat runs tonight, and it's 5-2.
That ball was just about as pure as it gets off the bat, driven into deep center field. Wildcats needing some sort of momentum here late in the last 3 innings. Could that be a momentum shift for them? Has 2 outs, but it doesn't seem to faze the Wildcats at all.
Well, now they're down 5-2. Here's Michael Rodriguez. Fouled away. Rodriguez singled, a little bloop single over the shortstop's head back in the 1st. Then he walked in the 3rd and flew out to right in the 5th. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss. And here comes Coach Cartaya. He'll call time and talk to Michael Rodriguez. New episode of Hail Wildcats Radio comes out tomorrow. Don't miss our final episode before the end of the baseball season. We recap the track and field SWAC championships, preview the last weekend of SWAC conference baseball play, and a preview of the SWAC tournament. That's on 1380 WELE Radio or any of your favorite podcast platform. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest, now featuring all new items for the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. Michael Rodriguez down 0-2 with 2 outs here in the 7th. Solo home run by Andre Martinez lowered the gap to 5-3. Copy Strong trying to get out of the inning. Waste a pitch outside 1-2. In that conversation between CatEye and Michael Rodriguez, you gotta think that he was preaching patience. Don't swing at everything. 1-2. As he watches one outside, 2-2. That home run by Andre Martinez kind of indicative of the whole Wildcat offense tonight. They've just been chasing the long ball. 2-2. Rodriguez protects the plate, fouls that one away onto the concourse.
Anything close, have to protect, have to stay alive. He does that just there. Now it's don't chase. Don't chase the ball in the dirt. Don't chase the ball outside. Stay patient.
Coming up next for Grambling State, it's 6, 7, 8, Martin, Ash, and Marcellus, which will be the 8th. Rodriguez, a ground ball to first. Lopez will take it to the bag himself, and that's the end of the inning. 1 run on the home run by Martinez, and the Wildcats have closed the gap to 3. And now with 2 innings to go, we're down 5-3 here on the CatEye Radio Network. 5-2, excuse me, here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the 8th, the Wildcats have chipped away a little bit. It's now 5-2, Grambling State. New pitcher is Andres Barroso, the side armor out of Key West. Barroso 2-3 in 22 1/3 innings on the season. 14 appearances, a 7.25 ERA. Leadoff man is Shannon Martin, who scored the last run for the Tigers. His last time up was hit by a pitch, came around to score on the Marcellus double. Barroso has allowed 20 runs on 25 hits, 18 earned, striking out 15 and walking 12. That one misses low and in. He's down 2-0. He's allowed 6 doubles, 2 homers with a batting average against of .301. He's hit 7 batters and thrown 2 wild pitches. And he is behind 3-0 to Shannon Martin. Shannon Martin has walked 33 times this season, 3rd on the team behind Hassani Johnson and Trey Bridges. There's a strike, 3-1. Trey Bridges is 2nd in the SWAC in terms of walks taken behind Darrell Lee, 54 on the season. There's a strike and it's 3-2. Lee just ahead of him with 55. Barroso has battled back to a full count, and a high chopper knocked down, and Barroso will cover the bag, but what a job by Fernandez over there at first. That play is all Jose Fernandez.
Great job by him to just knock it down, keep the ball in front of him, his inner catcher coming out, and then Barroso to get over to first receive ball, then step on the bag. It's been an issue for the Wildcats a few times throughout this season where they haven't covered the bag or they've tried to go step on it before they've caught it, but that was a clean play all around.
Charles Ash has spoke louder with his defense than with his bat today. First pitch, a chopper toward Poyedo. That'll be out number 2. Charles Ash now 0 for 4 and 1 for 7 on the series.
And 2 quick outs here for the Wildcats back-to-back. Wanting to ride some more momentum from the Andre Martinez homer if they can to push them into the end of this game. These 2 quick outs have been essential for them.
Here's Chris Marcellus. Good night for Marcellus after a rough opening to the series. 0 for 3 last night, 2 strikeouts and a double play. Tonight, 2 for 3, a home run, an RBI double, and a fly out to left. First pitch, strike 1 from Barroso. That one is a fair ball right in front of the plate. Michael Lucena says thank you very much. And for the first time tonight, the Grambling State Tigers go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Wildcats down 3 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the bottom of the 8th, here's Michael Lucena. Lucena was one of the offensive heroes last night, but tonight does have a single and an RBI sacrifice, and then popped out on the infield in the 3rd. The Wildcats have not had the leadoff man aboard tonight. Hasn't happened once. They've only had a run-out runner twice. That was in the first and the third. 0-1. Slider into the zone, 0-2 now on Lucena. And when you have your leadoff man go 0 for 7, not really indicative of a good offensive night. Here's the 0-2. Lucena golfs it into shallow center. Bridges makes the catch, and now the Wildcat leadoff hitters are 0 for 8. That was a low pitch down by his ankles. He just went out there and took a golf swing at it. And now here's Jose Fernandez, who's 0 for 3. Fly out, pop up, ground out. And has been the final out of the inning all 3 times. And has been responsible for stranding 3 of the 7 runners the Wildcats have stranded today. With Jeter Poyeto responsible for the other 4. Sorry, with Darrell Lee responsible for the other 4, not Jeter Poyeto. First pitch is strike 1. Capistran sensing the finish line and pounding the strike zone now for Grambling.
And why wouldn't he? All the contact that the Wildcats have made for the most part has been flyouts.
That time he didn't need to hit the zone. Jose Fernandez chased it. Hoppy's trying to head 0-2 for the second straight batter. And he gets his second strikeout. He crossed up both his catcher and Jose Fernandez. He misses his spot completely, but it still found the zone. 2 outs in the 8th.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 29, Eric Almonte.
Yeah, this has really been the story of this game. Wildcats getting 2 outs. And then having to rely on their last batter in the inning. It's worked out for them sometime where they've gotten that man on, but can't get them in.
Peyton Allen is warming in the Grambling State bullpen. As the last hope for the 8th is Eric Almonte, who's 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts. 1 to left, 1 to center, 1 to right. Whoa. All strike down and away. Peyton Allen is the pseudo closer for this team. He's got 3 saves. Might not need him if Capistran continues to work like this. Well, that time he sends it to the backstop off the glove of Marcellus. Infield creeping in, the 1-1 is down and in. Capistran yanked that one a little bit. All SWAC games done except this one and the game in Baton Rouge. Southern now leads Alabama A&M 9-1, so there will be no celebration tonight unless there's a comeback here. And it'll all hinge on tomorrow's game. 2-1. Fly ball left field. Going back on it is Hall, and he makes the catch near the wall. That's it. 1, 2, 3 go the Cats. We go to the 9th. Wildcats still down 5-2 on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Andres Barroso got through the 8th, 1, 2, 3 on just 9 pitches. He's back out
Pinch hitting,
for the
number
9th.
6, Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis is gonna lead it off, 9-1-2. Here in the 9th for Grambling State, they lead the Wildcats 5-2. Ryan Davis, a solo home run in the 2nd, and then 2 flyouts to left for him tonight. And not a ton to do over there at shortstop. Barroso misses outside 2-0. Barroso's first batter he faced was Shannon Martin. He was behind 3-0 and eventually worked it back to a full count and then got Martin to ground out. Davis got on top of it and bounces it foul to the third base side, 2-1. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. for Senior Day here at the Jack. 18 seniors for the Maroon and Gold will be honored. And the Wildcats will try one more time to win the SWAC regular season title, and that's not good from Barroso as he hits Davis in the back, leadoff man aboard. I mentioned in the last inning the Wildcats have not had the leadoff man aboard in the game. That is the 5th time now in 9 innings that Grambling State has had the leadoff man aboard.
Now batting,
Although
right
only
fielder,
once
number 1,
has
Marquez
that man come in to
Thomas.
score. That was back in the 1st inning.
So it doesn't always explicitly relate to run production, but it does give you some boosts, especially with no outs.
Yep. Strike called as squaring to bunt was Martavius Thomas. He bats for the 5th time tonight. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles, a run scored, and also took a walk and flied out the center. Grambling State has pounded out 9 hits tonight. Fouled that one away. He's down 0-2. Wildcats 2 runs on just 7 hits after scoring 23 on 16 last night. Thomas gets a piece of it, stays alive, down 0-2. Baseball has a funny way of getting you back like that. Win a game 23-1, and then the next day you can't find any offense at all. I told Daryl on the broadcast last night, one of the later innings, doesn't matter what the final score ended up being last night. That one punched up the line, and it gets over Fernandez's head. One of the softest singles you'll ever see. And there's 2 on for Grambling State with nobody out. They want to leave no doubt in this game.
That was the biggest jam single I've ever seen in a game. He was jammed earlier, and then it was foul, and that one was just over Jose's head at first.
Now batting the center fielder.
But
number
again,
2,
it's just
Trey
offense, production, it doesn't matter if you
Yeah.
get on.
Well, Jose was playing towards the bag and in, trying to cover first base. If he's playing his normal position, he probably gets to that. But when it's happening for you, it's happening for you. You get the balls to bounce your way, and sometimes it's your night. That's kind of felt like how it's been for Grambling State tonight. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Trey Bridges. Been on base 3 out of 4 times. Squares to bunt, down and in ball 1. Bridges doubled and scored in the 1st, walked in the 5th, singled in the 7th, and was a fly-out victim to right field on a really nice catch by Michael Rodriguez in the 2nd. So unless something miraculous happens here, it'll be a lot on the line tomorrow. Bunted foul, popped it up, but nobody could get there, and it's 1-1 on Bridges. If the Wildcats are able to secure that #1 seed, they will play at 6 p.m. on Wednesday against the 8 seed. If they are the 2 or the 3, which they could still be the 3 if they lose tonight and tomorrow. Throw back to second. Everybody's back in safely. If they're the 2, they'll play at 3 p.m. If they're the 3, they get the 9 a.m. game. All on Wednesday the 20th for the first day of the tournament. That'll be on SWAC TV, but we'll be up there doing CatEye Radio Network on YouTube. Drag bunt. Barroso off the mound, underhands to first. But the job done by Bridges. Moving the runners to second and third. Davis to third, Thomas to second. Still just one out. The Wildcats are in the exact same position that they were in back in the 7th. When Zambrano got out of that jam, 2 on, nobody out, with a pop-up and fly out. Here's Aiden Lopez. Lopez frustrated tonight. A strikeout, a walk, a fielder's choice, and a sac bunt. He's behind in the count 0-1. Check swing, inside, 1-1. Andres Barroso trying to give the Wildcats a chance in the bottom of the 9th. He misses down and away. 2-1. Three and 1. All low. Barroso trying not to walk the bases loaded here. Swing and a miss. Slider dipped away from Lopez's bat, and it is 3-2. Massive payoff pitch coming here. Fouled away. Went with the fastball low and in, did Barroso. And Aiden Lopez will see another payoff pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded. First walk for Barroso. And after getting the Tigers to go 1-2-3 on just 9 pitches in the 8th, 24 pitches for Barroso, and he is done. We will have a new pitcher coming in for the Wildcats to face Cameron Hill with the backs against the wall. Down 5-2, bases loaded, 1 out. Grambling looking to put this one on ice. The Wildcats, if they were to fall tonight, it would only be their 3rd conference home loss of the season.
And in stunning fashion, because you go from really night and day, yesterday's game to today's, and you know, coaches don't love to compare because yesterday's game was yesterday's and today's is today's, but when you're playing the same team and you have the same lineup going at them, it's just the different pitchers on either side. That's really going to be the difference. And today, Grambling State has just come out and has absolutely shown a strength in their pitching core.
Well, Barroso's going to stay in. Michael Benedict is warming up. And a lot of faith being placed in the junior from Key West right now. Here is Cameron Hill, 1 for 4. A single, and he was caught stealing back in the first. 2 pop-ups on the infield, and he's grounded into a double play. Outside, ball 1. And whatever you do, you have to find the strike, so give your defense a chance to make a play. Low, ball 2. As Coach Hernandez pulled the plug in the middle of an AB. He was going to do it, I would have done it right there. The 2-0. Fouled away right at home plate. Michael Lucena didn't realize that was a foul ball. He scrambled, picked that ball up, stepped on the base, and then tagged the runner out.
He's going to check every box that he can, and Johnny Hernandez is going to come out and question why that was called a foul ball.
We've already seen one of those slow tappers in front of the plate be called fair. That was back in the 8th inning, and Lucena made the play on Marcellus. Coach Hernandez not happy with that call. And even if we had reviewed, that's not something you can review. It's 2 balls and 1 strike, and all this is doing is potentially buying time for Michael Benedict down in the bullpen. Coach Hernandez looks that way and walks back to the dugout, unsatisfied. Two balls, 1 strike, bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th. Ball 3, down and in. Barroso trying not to walk in a run. Foul ball, sharply hit right at the BCU dugout. It's 3-2. Davis on third, Thomas on second, Lopez on first. And that's going to be a base hit through the third base hole. Everybody moves up. Davis scores. Thomas to third, Lopez to second, and an RBI single for Cameron Hill. And it is 6-2, and that's the end for Andres Barroso. Now with just 1 out, you're trying to do whatever you can to get back to the dugout with some semblance of integrity intact here. Michael Benedict's got to come in to replace Barroso, and maybe you feel like Barroso was left in there 1 batter too long.
And he didn't walk a run in, but that ball, because of where the infield was playing with all of the runners on bases, they couldn't make a play to that ball to get through to the outfield. Thankfully, only 1 run did score, but now you have a 1-out situation, and you're trying to give yourself a chance to come back in this game, make a statement, prove why you're the #1 team in the SWAC right now. And Michael Benedict has a lot of pressure on his shoulders to get the job done, but they do have full faith in him to be able to do it.
Michael Benedict is not someone who's been in a lot of high leverage situations like this. He's mostly been used as the first out of the bullpen in a long relief scenario. Benedict has also started a couple games this year. 3-2, 12 appearances, 6 starts. He's thrown 34 2/3 innings on the year with a 6.49 ERA. He's allowed 31 runs on 37 hits, 25 earned, striking out 27 and walking 23. He's allowed 9 doubles, 3 triples, 3 homers with a batting average against of 2.85. He hasn't thrown a wild pitch and hit 6 batters. It is now 6-2, Grambling State. And it is 9-4, Southern over Alabama A&M. Southern trying to complete a comeback in the top of the 5th, but now still that very unlikely. Of course, the Wildcats would win the SWAC regular season title, even if they were to lose tonight, if Alabama A&M does come back and win. But everything going to ride on tomorrow's game, where the Wildcats would need to win to secure the regular season title. And against the Grambling State team, firing on all cylinders. This would also be the first time all season that the Wildcats will have lost the middle game of a conference series. They've either lost the first game or the third game every time they've dropped one. I don't think that's particularly relevant, but something to chew on either way. Hassani Johnson is 1 for 4. RBI double in the first, 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left. And he's got the bases full of Tigers with 1 out here in the 9th, 1 already in to make it 6-2 Grambling State. Michael Benedict misses outside to the lefty.
Number 2, Hassani Johnson.
Octavius Thomas on third, Aiden Lopez on second, Cameron Hill on first after his RBI single. Swing and a miss by Johnson. And it's 1-1. Infield playing pinch up the middle. So space on the edges for a ground ball. That's if Johnson could even make contact as he waves at that breaking ball 1-2. That's 2 straight breaking balls. Will Benedict throw him the hat trick, or will he go with the heat? Let's see. 1-2. He did go with the heat. It's fouled straight back. If the Wildcats do slip to that 2 seed, it's going to be tough, because they'll be in with, if the standings stay the same, they'll be in with Florida A&M, Texas Southern, and Arkansas Pine Bluff on their side of the bracket. 1-2. Golfed into left center field. Long run for Rivera. He makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. It's not in time, as it's a sacrifice fly for Hassani Johnson, his second RBI. Martavius Thomas comes in, and it's 7-2.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 7, Shannon Martin.
Shannon Martin is 0 for 3, hit by a pitch in the 6th and scored. Other than that, struck out, flied out, and grounded out to first. Now first and second, 2 outs here in the 9th, as Grambling State has added some insurance. Benedict behind the count of ball and no strikes to Martin. Fastball right at the belt, 1-1. Remember, 5 p.m. tomorrow for first pitch, but if you're coming out to the park, you want to get there very early, as we honor our 18 seniors here for BCU baseball. 2-1, fastball low. If you want to see the senior day ceremony, I'd say get here no earlier, or no later rather than 4 o'clock. Popped up in foul territory, headed towards the Grambling dugout. Fernandez makes the catch, and it's miracle time in Daytona Beach. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Grambling State Tigers, and they lead it 6-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. It'll be 7-8-9 for the Wildcats here in the 9th, needing a miracle, down 6-2 against Grambling State. Looking to avoid only their seventh conference loss of the year, only their 3rd at home. Jeter Poyeto 0 for 2. First pitch, called a strike on the inside corner.
Second baseman number 2,
A fly out to center, a pop up to shallow right. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th, but was immediately picked off at first base, Poyeto. Swing and a miss. Really nice pitch by Rafael Capistran. Breaking ball down and away, and 0-2 on Poyeto. Capistran has 2 strikeouts since coming in with 2 outs in the 6th. The only 2 strikeouts that Grambling State had tonight. 0-2. Ground ball towards short. The scoop by Davis. The throw across on a hop, and Poyeto is safe. And it is pretty clear that Davin Pierre is not happy with that call. For the first time in the game, Bethune-Cookman has the leadoff man aboard.
And Jeter ran as fast as he possibly could to get down that line to beat that ball out. A great play by the defense for Grambling State to scoop that ball and fire over to first.
And the conversation continues between Coach Pierre and the first base umpire. It was a very close play. It wasn't the best throw by Davis over at shorty. One-hopped it to first. And now Chris Watson, who is 1 for 2, a single in the 2nd. He walked in the 4th and popped out in the 6th. The Wildcats have only managed now 2 hits off of Capistran since he came in with 2 outs in the 6th. And Watson will be the first man to face Capistran twice. Poyeto aboard, nobody out in the 9th. Down and away, ball 1. Peyton Allen is back warming up for Grambling State out in the bullpen, but I'm sure that the Tigers coaching staff would love to keep him in the reserves for tomorrow if necessary. That's a strike, fastball at the letters. And it's 1-1 on Watson. Watson has battled a lot tonight. 2 of his 3 appearances has been a 3-2 count. That was the single and the walk. Bounce to the plate, and Jeter Poyeto retreats back to first. He saw that ball dive for the dirt, and he almost took off, but Marcellus with a great job to keep that ball in front of him.
I would be surprised if Jeter tries to make any moves to second. Remember, he was picked off earlier in this game.
2-1. That one right down the middle, 2-2. Trevor Esparza started for the Tigers, went 5 2/3, allowed run 1 on 6 hits. Now Capistran, now 2 1/3. Watson grounded right back to him. The turn to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. The throw to second base was wild and pulled Martin off the bag. And the call is that he did get a foot down. And now Coach Hernandez is barking at the second base umpire, so neither coach happy right now. Fielder's choice puts Watson aboard with 1 out.
And Mike, I'm going to agree with you and probably everybody else in this building that he looked off the bag.
Well, both coaches and both sets of fans upset now with the officiating here in the 9th. But that time it benefits Grambling. 1 on, 1 out. Here is Sergio Rivera 2 for 3, a bunt single, a single on the infield, and a fly out to right in the game for Rivera. First pitch, strike called inside corner. Papistron looking for a potential double play ball to get the job done right now. If not, he would face Darrell Lee, who's 0 for 3 and has stranded 4 runners aboard. Correction, Lee is 0 for 4. Papistron from the stretch. That dove into the zone, 1-2. Papistron just 5'11", listed, probably shorter than that. But he generates a lot of velocity, comes straight over the top. A 1-2 to Surge. Rivera pops it up, straight out of play, foul, right over the top. Once again, the Wildcats in miracle territory here. 1 out. Chris Watson on first. Down by 4 in the 9th. Once again, the 1-2 from Capistran. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Curveball into the dirt. And Grambling State is 1 out away. Here's Darrell Lee, who's 0 for 4. 2 flyouts, a pop out, and a strikeout. And as I mentioned, he has stranded 4 of the 7 runners that the Wildcats have left on base. The only runs the Wildcats have scored are both by Andre Martinez. He doubled in the first, came around on a Michael Lucena sacrifice. First pitch, belt high, strike 1. Then he had a solo home run in the 7th. Other than that, the Wildcats have had pretty much nothing. 2 runs, 8 hits, left 7. Lee swinging a miss, and the Cats are down to their last strike. And I have a feeling that I don't care where this pitch is, Darrell Lee's going to hack at it. 0-2. I was correct. That's the end. Grambling State defeats Bethune-Cookman. The Wildcats' only 3rd conference loss at home, and they will have to wait till tomorrow to potentially clinch the regular season title. And if they lose tomorrow, they would choke it away and give it to Southern. Grambling State, 7 runs on 11 hits. They committed 1 error and left 8 on base. Bethune-Cookman 2 runs on 8 hits. They committed no errors, but also left 8 on base. The winning pitcher is Esparza. His record now 4-2. Harvey Abreu takes the loss. His record now 5-3 for Bryce Ronowski and our entire Wildcat crew, including Jade Barquette, alongside me, Michael Trillo, here in the booth. We'll see you tomorrow for the Senior Day Series finale here at the Jack.